Go!
On September 9th, 2001, Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks premiered their critically acclaimed HBO series Band of Brothers. 3 years prior to its release, Spielberg and Hanks worked together on Saving Private Ryan, which proved to be one of the most immersive war films made to date, because of its realism. The film received mostly positive reviews, but it was not perfect. The two producers concluded that the Eastern Front of World War II simply could not be covered in such a short time frame. Not enough immersion, not enough understanding of what it was like. In order to deliver the truest sense of realism to the public and fully capture the experience of American soldiers as they fought Nazi Germany, a series was created. A 10-part, captivating, shocking, eye-opening series. So what was it about this show that gave viewers the ultimate sense of realism? How did Spielberg and Hanks accomplish this goal? The element of the series that let it all sink in, it was all real. Every bit of it from start to finish. We followed Easy Company of the 101st Airborne through their experiences in Europe. All the characters, all the locations, all the equipment was taken directly from the accounts of real soldiers that these characters were based on. Historical accuracy was priority.
And we lost a lot of people that night. But you try to put it all on your mind.
The historical accuracy was not restricted to just the events audience saw. Realism throughout the series relied heavily on its mise-en-scène. Easy Company traveled through France, Britain, and Germany throughout the show. Utilizing a 1,100-acre backlot in Hatfield, England, the crew built a 12-acre village set that held 11 different villages. There was room for war zones, a grassy training ground in Georgia, an artificial snowy forest in Germany, an airfield in Britain, crippled exteriors of buildings in France. Every location was built with precision to replicate the environment that the troops found themselves in. Aside from locations, take note of the microscopic details in the uniforms, the weaponry, and the vehicles. The production team obtained over 2,000 replica Nazi and American uniforms. Around 700 weapons that were used in World War II from both sides were used in the show, and about 400 rubber ones were made for extras to hold. Vehicles used then, such as jeeps, tanks, and planes, were all utilized to contribute to the immersion. And the stage was set. Production and post-production were going to work hand in hand to create special effects and themes to make it all seem believable. One of the elements of the series that is easily observed is the consistent color correction. The saturation was drastically lowered, and color was minuscule. Without color and frequent dark scenes, the audience naturally felt the uncomfortable atmosphere. Next, the visual effects were one of the show's strongest features with its intense explosions, bullet ricochets, muzzle flashes, and flying debris. Although some visual effects were done through post-production, the visual effects used the open battlefield environment to their advantage. For example, the pyrotechnics team inserted countless explosions and constructed devices that spewed debris from the ground. Visual effects also consisted of the next-level technology that created thousands of soldiers through CGI. These elements created the sense of realism by presenting a chaotic, destructive war zone and displaying the unthinkable number of soldiers involved. There's numerous other on-screen tactics to implement realism, such as the point-of-view camera work and the terrifying sound effects. However, the aspect of the series that invokes the most realism is its reliance on subjectivity. With 10 episodes of material, Spielberg and Hanks make sure that the audience connects with at least one of the characters. We often delve into their personal background and tune into moments away from warfare that humanize them. It's common for an episode to dial in on one or two characters more in depth than the rest. You get to know who they are outside the uniform. A prime example is through Private Blythe. He's present for one episode, and through his presentation of fear, the viewer can empathize with him as his emotions are displayed for everyone to see. Referring back to showing the numbers involved in the war, the idea that his trauma is only one case out of the countless in the war hits the audience in the face. Each main character's personality is entirely unique from the rest. If a viewer isn't convinced through the historical accuracy or hectic war zones, the realism is going to spur from the connection to a character. The creators went into production with realism prioritized and utilized countless strategies to make sure it was achieved. To this day, Band of Brothers is inarguably one of the best exhibits of war film realism. It raised everyone's expectations for historical accuracy and immersion.